There is something strange is happening with the Japanese economy. The Japanese economy is facing the biggest crisis in its history. And this crisis is so big that it can wipe out the entire Japanese economy. And because Japan is one of the largest economies in the world and it's deeply integrated into the US economy and the entire global economy, it can take down with it the entire global economy. And I know that this sounds an exaggeration, but just last week, the US government, alongside the Japanese government, spent about $100 billion saving the yen. Because if they won't fix this problem, nobody knows how big this crisis is going to be. Because this crisis has the potential to be much bigger than the 2008 financial crisis. Look at the Japanese yen. In 2020, a single dollar used to worth about 100 Japanese yen. Today, it's about 159. The reason that the Japanese yen has been weakening is because the United States has increased the interest rates since 2022. The Federal Reserve hiked the rates from almost 0% to 5.5%. Now they're hovering about 3.7%. That makes the US government bonds much more attractive because now they pay a much higher yield. If you're an investor anywhere in Japan or anywhere else, where would you want to invest your money? To buy a Japanese government bonds that pays you 0% in yields, or do you want to invest it in the United States that pays you about 5%? Of course, you would invest your money in the US. So a lot of capital have been flying out of Japan to the United States because it's a much better investment and it pays much stronger yields. That's why the Japanese currency has been weakening. Secondly, the Iran war is causing massive inflation in Japan. Japan roughly imports about 95% of its energy and most of its food. And because oil prices are rising due to the war in Iran, everything in Japan is becoming much more expensive. And because the yields are not paying as much as inflation, the difference is very tiny, there is less advantage or motivation to invest in Japanese bonds. So more capital is flying out of Japan to the United States and other countries where that money can actually return a much higher yield, which is why Japan is facing this problem. The first thing that comes into mind is that why wouldn't Japan simply sell $1.2 trillion of the US debt that it has to save its economy? But that creates two fundamental problems. The first is the easy problem, that it can actually crush the US debt market. If the United States goes down, everybody goes down. So that's not in the interests of Japan. But even if Japan does that, that's not going to help. Let's assume that Japan is going to sell the US treasuries. That will spike the yields in the United States. Suddenly, the United States has to find new buyers for its debts. So the US government will start offering much higher yields to attract these investors. Now, the yields in bonds between Japan and the United States will be much higher. So more capital will fly to the United States instead of Japan. And when that happens, there will be less demand for the Japanese yen, so the yen is going to weaken even further. So this is not obviously a solution. The solution they're trying to do is that the Bank of Japan will raise the interest rates. And when that happens, the Japanese government bonds will pay much higher yields, and over time, Japanese investors or international investors on top of that will start investing in the Japanese bonds. But you can't possibly invest in Japanese bonds without buying the yen. And when you buy the yen becomes stronger. And that's why starting from 2024, you can see that the Bank of Japan has been raising the interest rates from 0% that has been historical to 1%. If the Bank of Japan successfully raise them to 2% and then 2.5%, suddenly the Japanese yields will be paying a very good yield. Suddenly there is going to be real demand for the Japanese bonds. Unfortunately, this is not actually going to solve the problem because if the Bank of Japan is going to raise the interest rates, that is going to trigger a banking crisis in Japan because banks are obligated to hold a lot of Japanese bonds. If you're a bank in the US, by law, you're obligated to hold a certain or the significant chunk of your assets in the US treasuries. If you are a bank in Japan, then you're obligated to hold a significant amount or a good portion of your assets in the Japanese government bonds. And a bond has both a yield, which is the income you get from it, and a price that if it's $1,000 bond, then it's worth $1,000. But the yield of the bond has an inverse relationship with the yield. That means that if the yield of the bond is going to spike, then the price of the bonds go down. Think about it this way. Let's say that the current yields are paying 0.5%. And that is $1,000 bond. Now, the Bank of Japan raises the interest rates 2%, and now the new bonds are paying 2%. And it's also the exact same $1,000 bond. If you're an investor, you have a choice. Would you invest in a yield that pays you, or in a bond that pays you 0.5%, or you will invest your money in a bond that pays you 2%? Of course, you're going to choose the second option, which is why the price of this bond is going to go down to become even more attractive. That's basically the logic of how the system works. And now imagine you have a Japanese bank that holds trillions of Japanese bonds. And now the government or the Bank of Japan raises the interest rates. What do you think happens to the value of all of these bonds that the Japanese banks are holding? Their price is going to plummet. Now, suddenly on paper, if you look at their balance sheets, because the value of these bonds went down, their total assets doesn't actually match the total value of their liabilities. And that means that they owe more money than the amount of assets they have. So theoretically, if everybody went to that bank who keeps his money in that bank, that particular bank won't have the money to pay everybody. So that creates a banking shock or a bank run. Everybody rushes to the bank, they withdraw their money, and suddenly that bank will go basically bankrupt. And that is much worse in Japan because Japan had low interest rates for 30 years. So pretty much almost all of the government bonds that these banks are holding right now, their rates are between 0% to 0.5%. So raising the interest rates to 2% is instantly going to make all of their government bonds worthless. And that's usually how banks collapse. Think about Silicon Valley Bank. In 2020 and 2021, Silicon Valley Bank had hundreds of billions of dollars. So it took that money and bought government bonds. These government bonds paid very little interest. In 2022, the Federal Reserve hikes the interest rates. Suddenly, the value of these older bonds go down. Now, Silicon Valley Bank, on paper, no longer could actually meet its obligation, which is why everybody rushed to the banks, withdrew their money, and Silicon Valley Bank went out of business. And the same thing could happen to every single bank in Japan if the Bank of Japan is instantly going to raise the interest rates, which is why the Bank of Japan is very careful. Now, the second problem is that when you raise the interest rates, now the government has to pay higher yields. The debt to GDP ratio in Japan is 240%. And that means that the government of Japan has borrowed so much money and now it has to pay interest. Because it's not paying back its debt, it's constantly refinancing the debt. So when the previous debt expires, now the cost of borrowing more money now is going to be much higher, which means that the government of Japan has to pay a much higher interest debt. And when you have to pay a much higher interest, you are going to introduce more yen to the economy. And when more yen gets into the economy, of course, there is a bigger supply and the exact same demand. That means that the currency is going to weaken. So even though it seems like you're doing something, fundamentally, you're not fixing any problem or whatsoever. Which is why the United States decided that it's time for the US to intervene and help the Japanese economy. Finally help Japan. Back in 1980s, the US wiped out the Japanese economy. But today, the US is going to do the right thing and save the Japanese economy. Here's how. Because Japan owns $1.2 trillion of the US debt, the United States is not happy about that. Because the US now has to pay Japan dozens of billions of dollars in interest payments annually. But here is the solution. Because Japan needs money, for example, if Japan is going to have a lot of US dollars, it can use these US dollars to buy the yen in the open market. That will strengthen the yen and the yen will become stronger. But Japan doesn't have that much cash. To do that, Japan might have to sell these bonds. But selling these bonds is going to trigger a crisis in the US. So here is the brilliant solution they just came up with. Japan will basically keep its debts as a collateral at the hands of the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve will print money and loan it to Japan, and Japan now has hundreds of billions of dollars without selling the $1.2 trillion worth of its debts. When Japan is going to use that money, recover its economy, and then pay back the Federal Reserve, then Japan will get its $1.2 trillion worth of debt back. But if Japan fails to do that, then this $1.2 trillion will stay at the hand of the Federal Reserve. And now the US government, instead of owing Japan that money, it will owe the Federal Reserve. And because the Federal Reserve is technically part of the US government, the US will owe itself $1.2 trillion. In other words, that debt will evaporate. But wait a second. Why don't you think that this is going to help Japan? Japan will recover its economy and pay back the Federal Reserve. Well, unfortunately, they just tested the system. The US government, alongside the Japanese government, spent last week $100 billion to artificially buy the yen to make it stronger. It didn't move the needle. The Japanese yen became stronger by about 3.5%, and now it is going back, and they have spent $100 billion doing that. That means that Japan can do that a few more times. So Japan will borrow another $100 billion from the Fed. It's not a problem for the Fed. The Fed will literally print money and give it to Japan. Japan will try to strengthen its currency one more time. Maybe they will do it 2 more times, maybe 5 more times. And then suddenly, Japan will owe the Federal Reserve $700 billion, $800 billion, maybe $900 billion. But they did not fix the problem, which means that now $1.2 trillion of the Japanese debt that the US government owes to Japan will go into the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve, and Japan lost its $1.2 trillion. In other words, Japan sold its $1.2 trillion to the Federal Reserve completely for free, and the Federal Reserve will basically evaporate and erase that debt. That seems like a brilliant strategy for the US government and really bad news for the Japanese government. And that's because the Japanese government kept printing money for the last 30 years without actually thinking about its consequences. And the US government right now is doing the exact same thing. Debt is the root of all evils if you keep borrowing money and never pay back your debts. And that's why instead of borrowing so much money, you have to invest so much money, because when you're investing your money grows as fast as debt. Of course, if you make smart investments. And if you want to know what are the top 5 stocks you should buy right now that are going to grow way faster than the Japanese bonds or the Japanese debt, then check out the first link in the description of this video, because that is the link to the Investing Academy where you will find that out. The link is in the description.